Watch this video to let go of parts of your character that don't serve you anymore. This is about letting go. Let's get it. Boom.
Yeah. I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumit Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. In this video today, I'm talking about the process of letting go, okay? Now, Jim Kwik has an amazing analogy called ABRA, okay? This is the way that he deals with automatic negative thoughts, or ants. So you gotta crush those ants. In a sense, you want to imagine that you acknowledge what the thought is, okay? You breathe or you bookmark the thought, you release it, and then you align, or you get back into what you were doing. This is great for any kind of distraction. This process of letting go, or that release, can be done in so many ways, okay? Yawning is a release, burping is a release, taking a shower is a release, ejaculating is a release, okay? So many different kinds of release. Laughter is a release, okay? So you don't have to stick to one method of release. There's so many different ways that you could actually release. And if you understand this and you start to create more relaxing activities throughout your day, more activities throughout your day where you actually plan out different releases, it's gonna make you feel lighter, more fluid in your beingness, a lot more tapped into your flow state. Now, this is about the elements of your character that you want to decode and then release, okay? So let's say that you don't want a specific behavior trait, okay? Let's say that first of all, you want to understand, okay, let's say that you say to yourself, I want to let go of being distracted easily, okay? Let's say that I have a very frantic mind and I've embodied or identified myself with being a person who's very frantic and has excess mental energy, therefore anxious, okay? So now what you want to be doing is basically understanding that you don't have an emotional charge to the emotion, okay? Have you ever had this happen to you? You see somebody and they're always positive all the time, and then one little negative thing happens to them and then they completely just go into that darkness, or they fly into that, and they make that so dramatic, right? That negative thing that's happened to them, because all their reference point is this self-image of positivity. So in the book Letting Go by David R. Hawkins, one of my favorite authors of all time, he also wrote Power versus Force. David R. Hawkins also has the scale of consciousness, okay? He says that guilt and shame are on the bottom of the rungs of the ladder. 200 below are usually, you would say, are negative emotions. I don't even like to label emotions as negative and positive. I think they're just emotions. Once you understand David R. Hawkins' model, you understand that usually people respond to emotions in three ways, okay? One is a projection, one is a repression or a suppression, and the last one is an expression, okay? So which one do you specifically do? Now, a lot of times, like Tony Robbins says, that emotions are energy in motion, right? The way that I see it, or like visitors in your home, you drink tea with it, you chill with the emotion, and then it's on its merry little way. However, if an emotion becomes a roommate and it starts to ruminate in your mind, it starts to cause problems and havoc, right? And you start to go from an angry state to an angry persona or personality. This is how we get labeled by others. Like, this person is so angry, right? Because they have been able to repress or stuff down that emotion, but eventually you can't stuff it down anymore and it comes out in unhealthy ways, okay? It's almost like a pressure cooker or a volcano, or trying to put a bouncy ball in a swimming pool. It's gonna pop up, okay? Instead of projection, instead of expression, instead of repression, what can we do? We can release the emotion, okay? We can actually let it go. And the process of letting it go, I've found, is being present with the emotion. Where do you feel it within your body, okay? Do you feel it in your head? Do you feel it in your heart? Do you feel it in your lower back? Do you feel it in your shoulders, right? Do you feel it in your elbow? Where do you feel the tension? Where do you feel the stuckness in your body when you think of that emotion? Let's say we focus on sadness here in this video, okay? Where do you feel sadness in your body? Notice, if you close your eyes, you'll notice your body changing to imitate that sadness. Maybe I notice my shoulders drooping down. Maybe I notice my chest caving in. I'm noticing that bit more. Noticing a heavy feeling It's sitting at the bottom of my chest. It's sitting on my middle back area. Now, once you have a very constructive image that you've created of this emotion, now you can actually practice letting it go, okay? So you can give it an image, you can give it a color, a sound, a shape, a taste, whatever it is, right? And you could say that, okay, if this emotion, I would taste it, what would it taste like? If this emotion of sadness was something I could see very visually as a symbol, what would it be represented as? Okay, maybe it's an arrow. It's an arrow in my heart, okay? Now you have an actual reference point, and you can actually tap that specific area of your body to release it, okay? Now there's other tapping points that are specific more to the Chinese meridian system. If you want, we can get on a call and do a release in terms of that. I work with it with my high-end clients in terms of releasing emotions and being able to process trauma and things like this. However, if you're doing it by yourself, you want to notice that feeling that an actor gets. Okay, this is really where we go into acting, where in method acting, you tap into the emotional stream of where it's coming from, right? So let's say someone's trying to get sad in a scene and they don't have any reference of maybe their friends passing away or their parents passing away or whatever. Maybe they have a pet that's passed away. So they tap into that one and they transfer the emotions onto something else. Similarly, you can transfer your emotions into something else. And you can do this with positive emotion as well. All right, so let's say you want to feel joy. Think about the time you felt joy in the past and transfer that joy from the past, a memory that you got, and place it into the future of a time that you want to feel joy and that similar sensation in the body. Okay, this is very powerful. The place in your mind for memory and imaginations is the same spot, okay? It's the servo mechanism. So once you understand that, you can actually use your visualizations to also let go, okay? This is why it's so profound. If you're doing this as a character, as an actor, you're removing the areas that you don't want that emotional charge, as I was speaking about earlier. So if you're very easily frustrated, you're going to have to end up owning that emotion, feeling gratitude for that emotion, and transmuting that negative emotion into a positive emotion. Again, this is how we see it. So there's still benefits in anger. What's beneficial about anger? You could ask yourself. Well, it can be used as motivation, right? How can you use your sadness in a very constructive way? How can you use your anxiety in a more constructive way rather than a destructive way? This is how we get to that level of emotional intelligence where we start to release and let go and fine-tune our own channels, okay? Towards doing this really accurately. So once you understand this, once you can figure out a way that you can actually weave with this, it becomes very powerful for you to step in and really optimize your emotions. There's a lot of different emotional circuitry training and a lot of different emotional trainings that we can go through if you join the program Writing Reality, as well as you get on a one-on-one coaching or a mentorship with me. Then we can tackle the emotion, we can pinpoint it, and then we can get to that catharsis. Okay, on stage it's a catharsis. So I want you to actually imagine this, right? Imagine that you open your arms up like this and you just, you let go of that emotion. You want to be able to actually do that. So whether it's with anger, you yell out like this, arms all out, wide, body language completely open, surrender to the universe. Same with sadness. You might be doing this, but you feel maybe a lot more, maybe your head's tilting down like this, right? So I want you to use this open body language in conjunction with the negative emotion that you want to release or the negative character trait that you want to get rid of or remove. And once you process it, you'll be able to let go with a yell, with a punch, with crying, with laughter, whatever is the release that it takes and gets rid of. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful to you. Have an incredible day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. Let's get it today. Boom.